Testing, testing. Am I on? Okay. Wonderful. We'll begin in about 2 minutes. Yeah. So if you want to finish up, and we'll begin in about 30 seconds. So Emilio will start us with a song, so it'll get everyone's attention. You may need to tell the people in the sound booth what song it is that you want. So welcome everyone. This is our visioning process. And for those of you that are watching online, know that you can get the questionnaire that we're going to be doing through our newsletter. So if you haven't noticed it there, it's there. Or you can send us an email request, admin@unityspiritualcenter.com, to receive a link to the questionnaire. So we're going to begin with this song that we sang once already today, Anything is Possible,
by Jen Hanna.
I guess you want me to control it.
Yes.
I'm forgetting I have all these roles. Okay, here we go.
What you dream that sometimes seems impossible, let the voices speak that tell you it's improbable, and hold on to what you love. Hold on to what you dream of, and you will be unstoppable. Anything is possible
when you believe.
Anything is possible.
Do you believe?
Anything is possible. Believe. What's your dream that sometimes seems illogical? When you try and fall, your dream can feel intangible and gentle. on, and your dream will become visible. Anything is possible.
when you
Anything is possible.
do you
Anything is possible. Believe. Hey, hey, I believe. Hey, hey, I believe. Hey, hey, I believe that I am unstoppable. Because anything is possible.
when you
Anything is possible.
do you
Anything is possible. Believe. Anything is possible.
when you
Anything is possible.
do you
Anything is possible. Believe. Believe. Believe.
Okay, thank you everyone for coming. And for those of you online, we're going to do this in two parts. Now, is there anyone here who doesn't know what visioning is and how it differs from visualization or goal setting? So visioning was really articulated best by the Reverend Dr. Beckwith. And what he did every year in his congregation was he would have everyone gather together and they would leave everything that they had done in the year past or the years past behind them to not influence where they were headed next, to allow spirit to fill that open vessel that they were becoming. And that's in fact what visioning is to sit quietly enough and open enough to receive answers from the Spirit through you as to what are the next natural steps for us to do and what is the next grandest vision that is to be experienced as us, in this case, as Unity Spiritual Center. So what we're going to be doing is the two parts are, the first is you have a questionnaire. And you're going to fill that out. I'm going to give you 15 minutes to fill it out because it's not a matter of you thinking and pondering, oh, is this the right answer? You're going to know right away. So fill it out. When we have our 15 minutes up, then I will have you just put that down and you can continue later if you need to, but we're going to move on to the next part, which will be then the actual visioning. So let's start with this. And if you would just begin now, and I will see you in 15 minutes. If you've done it online, you don't need to do it again. You can just have more dessert. She's asking for an explanation on number 14. So let me go to number 14. Once I find it. I have sticky fingers. Okay. I think that was a boo-boo. So how about you just put a word of affirmation in that section, number 14. Or you follow the directions. Mark only one oval. Depends on how good a follower you are. I think it was, but it wasn't me. It was Spirit. One of the really nice things about it is that this was our first time using Google Documents online to create a questionnaire. And so we didn't even know how it was going to work online. We were playing around with it this week. And Brenda was so excited with how it gave all the different responses and everything. So far, only 2 people, when she looked at it, had responded. Yes. So, yes. So what's really good is it gives us information. So I appreciate that you're doing it, and we'll have some hard copies and some that are done online.
I don't know. They're not chatting with me. I don't know who they are. Oh, you can't tell. You have to chat in order to know who you are.
So Wendy Meyer, who handles our live chat on our services, is saying there are 2 people online watching right now. She'd love to know who you are. Just say hello in the live chat if you would, please.
3 now.
Now there's 3. Whichever one, because you're all the same. You're all one. It could be exploration. It could be love. It could be safety. It could be peace. Curiosity. Inquisitiveness.
Oh, there's some thinking of what I just
And for those of you that have filled it online, thank you so much. It goes into Google Documents, which we didn't know how to use up until this week. And so it's a new exploration for us as well.
so far no one has identified themselves.
I laughed about it and said, it says mark only one oval. So mark the oval. It was a boo-boo that we forgot to take out. So we're making fun of it. It's about 8 more minutes. So you can hand out the other. Five more minutes.
How to do it safely and ethically. So, we have two verticals that we're launching at the same time. These partnerships, we had a career conference for, January 26th, 2017. So where everybody's located, we step forward. And at the same time, we're building the book that would be everyone getting this, putting in the eye, because we're all fighting. But that's next week. But anything that you have questions about, I can share with you my guide.
Okay, about 1 minute left. If you would wrap it up, please. If you want to get yourself another coffee or another dessert, this is the time.
Just don't let it do that. They call it authority to share AI and authority with yourself. Have you thought of this? I know it's next week when you're so, and that's especially interesting in business. So I'm focusing on the business part. So I'll be building a business. You guys will know. No, another Gemini. Yeah, we can. AI Essentials is a good course. But I Lisa.
Yeah, I just visit that.
Google AI Essentials is a really good place to start because they talk about the bias.
Time to wrap it up, everyone. If I can get your attention, please. I love myself so much, so I can love you so much, so you can love you so much, so you can start loving me. I love myself so much, so I can love you so much, so you can love you so much, So you can start loving me. I knew if I sang out of key, you'd pay attention. Thank you. Thank you, everyone. So if I could have your attention, please. So this is a two-step process. And I was first invited to do this visioning process, quite a long time ago when I was introduced to Reverend Michael Beckwith. And what he did, he claims to have been the success of their church, Agape, which was in California, was to do a visioning every year. And so their board of directors and any membership that wanted to join, and also him, would do a visioning at the beginning of the year. And the premise was that spirit is not static and that everything is a possibility and that we really are the ones that restrict that possibility. And so what is it that Unity Spiritual Center is wanting to express, but we're holding it back? Or maybe it's just perfect. And the only way to know that is to ask that question, setting aside what we've done that was a success and setting aside what we've done that was a failure. And to just step into the new, into the possibility, into the infinite realm that is spirit. And so what Dr. Reverend Michael Beckwith called it was visioning. And that was becoming an open vessel and putting your own expectations, fears, any of those things off to the side as much as you possibly can to open up to what is about to happen. So the reason that I wanted to begin this year this way is that we're in a rental location. As you know, we've been here now. We signed a 5-year lease, so we're into the end of the 3rd year and into the 4th year, actually. So we have another 2 years here. And is this where we want to be? Is this how we want to present ourselves to the world? And is this the best way for each of us, including those that haven't found us yet, to experience what we have to offer as Unity? And the only way to do that is to set aside our own limitations and our own restrictions and open up. So I'm going to invite you to consider that we're going to do this visioning at least twice, once this year and once next January. And this particular location, we do have an opportunity to extend our lease another 5 years at the end of the first 5, which ends a year from this coming October. So like a year and a half. And is this in fact where we want to be and what we're being called to do? Or is it something different? And I'm not going to put limits on that because I have no idea. I just know that it felt inside of me that it was time to, as a collective, come together and start to be open to that. Because you are me and I am you and we are it. So thank you very much for filling out the questionnaires. That's kind of the business part of things. We want to know and get a temperature of what's going on. And so this information is for the board, and Marcia is going to be tabulating all of the results of this and then giving us what would be the general gist of what people are looking for, so that you'll have that in a separate newsletter in maybe about 2 weeks, depending on how much time she's got. She's got a lot on her plate these days. So we're going to begin this sacred process of visioning by just sitting back and getting comfortable. And would you be more comfortable if some of the lights were out? We could turn one set of lights out, and if ideas come to you that you would like, you can certainly jot them down. There's space on the back of your questionnaire if you want. You also have been given some little notepads. So if something comes up and you'd like to write it down, we're going to compile all of that information at the end as well. So in Unity, we affirm that there is one presence, one power, one life, and it's expressing in and through all of life, including this community. That presence already knows what is seeking to emerge next. And our role is not to push or demand outcomes, but to be receptive, to be open to the possibilities. So visioning invites us to three questions, basically. What is Spirit seeking to express through us now? And you may say, well, I'm not all of unity. I'm only just me. But yes, you are. You are one with unity, or you wouldn't be here. And so what comes through you is as valid as what comes through the person sitting next to you. And it may be totally different. The other invitation is what is trying to come into form through this community. And we all know that sometimes what's wanting to come into form is very different than how we've been living up to this point. And maybe it's also more of the same. And what are we being asked to open ourselves to, collectively and individually, as we move into the future? And so that's what this process today is about. It's not about solving any problems. It's about allowing Spirit in first to say, what do I need to know as I move forward in this process? So I invite you to release the habit of starting with limitations or history or any kind of fear, and let go of trying to fix what you think is broken or that you don't like. Instead, we're placing our attention on possibility, on aligning, and what's wanting to emerge. So as we enter into this meditation, allow yourself to soften. So if you're feeling a little rigid right now, just kind of give yourself a little wiggle and settle into your spot. There's nothing that you need to figure out, and there's no right answers. So if nothing comes, that's okay. It might come tomorrow or the next day, or maybe never. And for some of it's a feeling, or it's an image of something, or it's a word, but it encapsulates the entirety of what you need to know at this time. And there's nothing that you need to decide right now either, because this is a process. So your invitation is to listen with your whole being. So how do you do that? First of all, get comfortable, because if you're not comfortable, you're going to be thinking about, oh, that's itchy, or that hurts, or that's not comfortable. If it means sitting with your feet up on another chair, do that. Whatever works for you. And then I invite you, before we begin, to ask for one person to be the scribe at each of your tables. And if you're not sitting at a table, one of you would be the scribe, to just jot down any insights and things that we have after meditation. So are you ready? Does it need to be any more dark than it is, or it's okay? Okay, would someone flip the other light out then, please? That's okay, because they're closing their eyes. Someone just said that they can't see us on TV. You'll see a vague sense of me. Okay. So begin by settling comfortably into your seat, wherever you are. And allow your feet to rest easily on the floor or wherever you are. And let your hands relax in your lap. And if you haven't already done so, close your eyes. Whatever feels right for you. And take a couple of slow, deep breaths, releasing gently. Now I invite you to allow your awareness to drop out of your thoughts and into your body, into this present moment. Bring your attention to the truth we affirm together, that there is one life, one intelligence, one creative presence that is unfolding all things. and silently acknowledge that presence lives in me. That presence lives in me. There is nothing missing, nothing broken, only life seeking fuller expression. Now imagine that you're standing in a wide open space. This is a space of possibility. The future is not fixed here. It's alive, responsive, generous. From this place, gently ask within, not with effort, but with curiosity. Spirit, what is seeking to emerge through me? Notice what arises. It may come as an image, a feeling, a word, a sense of expansion or invitation. Now widen your awareness to include this entire community. Imagine the collective heart of this spiritual home. And ask quietly within, what is asking and seeking to emerge through us? What qualities want to be expressed even more fully here? What ways of being together feel alive, expansive, and true? What new possibilities are asking for room to grow? Again, do not analyze, just notice what comes up. Now ask your greater self one final gentle question. What are we being invited to open ourselves to as we move into the future? Perhaps it's a greater compassion, greater courage, greater creativity, greater trust, greater love in action. Allow whatever arises to settle into you, not as a demand, but as a seed. Take a moment now to rest in gratitude. Gratitude for the presence that guides without force. Gratitude for the wisdom already unfolding. Gratitude for being willing participants in the becoming. Feel appreciation filling your heart. And quietly affirm within, I am open. We are open. Life reveals itself through us with ease and grace. When you feel ready, begin to bring your awareness back to the room. maybe gently wiggle your fingers and toes. And when it feels complete, open your eyes. So we're going to take a few moments now. Once we turn the lights on, I'll invite someone to turn the lights on, to reflect and jot down your insights based on these prompts. So I'd like you to reflect and jot down your insights based on these prompts. So what stood out for you during the visioning? And you can write on the back of one of your papers, that would be fine. Or on your little notes, yes. Something that we can gather from you when we leave. So the little sticky notes are fine, or if it's the questionnaire. So what stood out for you during the visioning is the first question. And was there a quality or a possibility that felt most alive? And allow the answer to be quite spontaneous. This is something to not dwell on deeply. Allow it to come out naturally. And what might it look like to stay open to this in the days ahead without forcing it? And then you have sticky notes at your table, which we will collect with the forms that you filled out to compile this information. And now, if you're ready, I'd like to go table by table and just get a little bit of the insights that you may have gotten during this process. Okay, Laurie, do you want to begin since you're not at a table? So share what came up for you. I'll just repeat what you said, Laurie, so go ahead. Okay, just needed to let it percolate. And do we want to use a microphone? Have we got a microphone that we could? That way everyone can hear it. I want to hear from everyone, so it's not going to just those who want. So your partner, please, Laurie. And this isn't to put you on the spot. This is because we want to know.
There you go. Hello. All right.
Give it to Laurie's partner.
You're on.
Just tell them what you just told me. Clark's comments were he likes the crowd, he likes the round tables here.
Thank you. There's no right or wrong answers.
Okay.
So please put that in your sticky note to share with everyone. Whatever you said now, please.
I guess what came out for me in the visioning was the fact that from the churches that we came from before we came here, they're guilt-ridden, controlling, judgmental. You're going to hell if you do this. You're not going to heaven if you don't do this. It's a load of crap, right? So you come here, and it allows you to, it's called expression without guilt. And the coming here allows you to get rid of the guilt that you feel about whatever you're feeling about. It gives you that chance. It's like a classroom. So that's
Sort
what
of
the
a
greatest thing about it
cocoon
is.
to come into,
Sorry?
a cocoon where you can incubate new ideas.
Exactly, yeah. So
Okay.
that's the beauty of it. Thanks.
Thank you, Bruce. You're staying at your table and then going to the next table.
Okay, the first one, a lot of things we hear all the time here. I won't talk about that. But
Can everyone pay attention, please?
interestingly, the second part of the meditation there, change came up. As a change, courage, openness to change, love, opening to comments, whatever. Anyway, it doesn't mean okay. So many times in life you experience fear of change in yourself and in other people and in groups and so on. But we're talking about change, and change is necessary. With your mind open and so on and whatever. But I think that's the first thing in a process like this we have to overcome is that this is fine, or we all like it, or we wouldn't be here. But we're a small group, and we have to be open to change. Talking to Reverend Don and Cynthia when they were here, Don opened to me and he said, Randy, in 10 years, I wouldn't be surprised if we're meeting in someone's living room. And you can see what's happened from the monstrosity on the mountain to one room now. And it isn't because the ministry or whatever sort of thing. It's a change in society, and things are online, and you can get us online. So that's it. And people are getting more insular. So we have to work within those boundaries, and those are the changes I see affecting us.
Thank you. And I invite you all to make I statements, please. So you're speaking from your perspective. No, I want to hear from everyone, please, even if it's one word.
I always have problems with visualizations because it's always my bot says, hey, go to sleep. So there are no images, words, nothing. However, what has come to me is, it sounds like an oxymoron, but moving away from passive participation. You're participating, but not in a very targeted way. So yeah, more active participation.
Thank you.
And
So everybody heard that. Eh?
And for me, it's faith and courage. For
Faith
me,
and courage.
yeah.
Okay.
The love just kept coming up, love and bigger love. But as far as being open, I prefer the image of a nest to a cocoon, because a cocoon does feel so insular. And I agree with the active participation and also what came up for me was being open to a new venue and possibly a new format. So those are my thoughts.
Thank you.
Sounds like it might be from our table, because we were just talking about this. I had the same thing, more a question of being more inclusive. I mean, look at how tight we are here, and yet how much we enjoy each other's company. So maybe we need to start thinking about something else. And the feeling of warmth was very strong. Yes. Okay.
Well, Gracie wants more treats.
She has her priorities straight.
She has her priorities straight, yeah. For me, it was actually feeling needing more space. Yeah, I kind of felt like goldfish. You know how the goldfish only grow as big as their goldfish bowl, and expansiveness, just feeling to be able to breathe more, to have bigger breaths. It's just, yeah, it's kind of difficult to explain, but that was more it. Yeah.
Thank you. And for those that are feeling uncomfortable to speak or don't have anything to say, know that that's okay too, because you may be percolating. You may not process information in the same way as the person next to you does. Maybe you're more verbal, or maybe you're more of a feeling kind of person that can't even put those feelings into words. And all of that is okay. But if you can share something with us, that's super. And that's what I'm asking for.
Well, I think people here have had some really deep thoughts. Mine aren't that deep, but I kind of envision a thriving place, very inclusive, and with more young people in it and more energy, young energy. Well, I don't care, men, women, whatever.
For those of you online that didn't hear that, she said, we need more men. It's up to you, baby.
There are absolutely thriving organizations who have men's groups and women's groups. And we don't really have that here. We don't have a group.
Can you
of people.
speak in the eye?
So for mine, I was just adding on.
Yes.
So for me, this is a wonderful place that's safe and peaceful, and we've become complacent. I feel complacent here. Sorry?
Someone else piped up with the word content.
Content.
And they have two energies to them, don't they?
They do. And so if everything is taken care of, what is there for us to do? And I believe for me, I need a purpose. I need a mission. I need something to accomplish. I need a goal to work towards. And if we had more of those things, then I think we would attract more people and we would all have more fun.
Can you give us an example? She had some examples.
She's asking for some examples, and those may come just naturally on their own as well.
Yeah. So, I mean, we came together really well around the Santa Day. You know, we didn't get the response from the community because we were new here, but we all came together. There was more volunteers than people that showed up. And then there's been times like when Unity had the cancer support booklets where we could go around to the community. I think that would be a great idea too, for us to come together, a group of us to go out in the community, maybe go drop off booklets or talk to people. So if we had a mission or a purpose or something that our hearts could attach to, I think we would have a lot more fun.
Thank you, Lori.
What came up for me was something I had thought about recently as well, and that would be to advertise as a small chapel, specifically for weddings or celebrations, and especially maybe for an inclusive community, and to let people know that this is a very inclusive atmosphere.
Thank you, Diane.
All right. Okay, so for me, I think that we can attract by being living examples of embodying the truth principles that we learn here. So part of that is we're all still learning, and it's a continuous process. And I'm still practicing, and I'm still making mistakes, but because it's always there's always a pull back to old thought patterns and belief systems that comes up, and to remember these truth principles and embody them in my life, so I can vibrate in a higher level of consciousness and more easily, more consistently, and then I think that would just naturally attract more people by us being who we are, authentically living these principles. Okay.
Thank you. Which table is next?
I could pass this. Okay, easily. First of all, I didn't understand the question properly.
Talk into the microphone because we can't hear you. Put it close to your lips.
Okay. Okay. I said to start with, I did not get the question right. So I did it mostly for myself than the group. And for myself, I would say the discovery of self or the expansion of self, which can be the same for the community. Personally, I am remote, so I come to physically once a month and the 3 other weeks online. So there has to be a little bit of perspective there for the online people. So I don't exactly know how that would work. As as for let's say for the physical place, I agree with Lori. There has to be more advertising in the community, and we've tried a lot. And I would not say that this is not done here, because I believe that putting the signage at the front of a very busy street should help. And we've got to bring the people. And I would also say that that having the art your courses would also bring people in. So definitely, you have definitely tried a lot. So there has more has to be done, and it's for us to discover.
Thank you.
I had courage to try new things and remain open to possibilities, willing to step outside of our current routine and structure, and have more variety of activities. And one of the things I thought of is having like guest workshops or different things, even in the afternoon after service, where it's also open to people in the community, so they can enjoy it as well.
Thank you.
I also believe that participation in the community is important, but participation begins with us in improving who we are ourselves and being aware of how we present ourselves in the community before and allow that to project out. It's up to us to work with ourselves and let God choose the community to pull towards us.
Thank you.
The word that I wrote, excuse me, the word that I wrote down is connection, and that is connection with members. And we are a community. I'm thinking I sit in the same seats. I talk to the same people, the same groups. I'd like to get to know everybody. And everyone is so fantastic in here. Like, I need to know them.
Thank you.
I wrote circles. I would like to sit in a circle. I don't like sitting at these tables. I would like to have a sound bath come to our church where crystal bowls are resonating and have a beautiful healing service like that. That's all.
Thank you.
We used to have in the past, I don't know if you can bring it forward, is the healing arts. Would be excellent. What came to mind was, I said, a peaceful spiritual family gathering place, because we're a spiritual family. And outreach programs in areas where there's a need. And there's lots of outreach programs, and I didn't know if we could, anyways, that's it.
Last but not least, so I misunderstood the directions first. And while we were in meditation, it brought me a lot of peace, comfort, and made me feel desirable and calm. I agree with the outreach that Lydia is mentioning. I think we disconnect to the community. We say we're part of this community, but we're not really. We're a storefront. It's noisy back here. Not just me, these cars and everything else, you know. I don't mind the location. I think when I'm involved with other groups, they have an outreach, and I may have this name wrong, Randy, you probably will know, but it's the Mark Reese House on Barton Street. It's next to the jail. And the other group that I'm with, we volunteered there and made dinners for people. It's like a Ronald McDonald House for people that have people in the general hospital, and they come in from out of town, and we made dinner for them. So they asked for volunteers from the group, the club that I belong to. And it was, you know, I still feel great pride in what we accomplished that day and how grateful everybody was. And that's how they get to know you. Come out and meet them. So I think, you know, like we're saying, there was more outreach back then. They had more groups for the younger people. They had a teens thing up on the mountain. I mean, I know we were big numbers then. You're not going to like what I might say here. So I really, sorry if I'm going to offend anybody. But sometimes people tell me, oh, that's kind of like a cult, right? And I say, no, we're not a cult. Like, I defend it, but it, you know, I don't like it when they say that because we're different. I think we're different. But I think I've never seen anybody come through that door or any of the other doors that we've had that didn't come here and walk away feeling good about this place.
Thank you, Diane.
So we're not
Anyone
a cult.
else have anything else that they'd like to include at this point? So know that what you have done is the equivalent to planting a seed. You've planted the seed of possibility in your consciousness, and you've opened up in the best way that you know how, and each one of us is very different in that way. And for some of us, it's wordless, it's a feeling, it's a pull towards something. And for others, it needs to be verbalized, whether it's written down or spoken. But this is just the beginning. And this is an opportunity for us to also recognize that those of us that gather in person is only 20% of those that actually hear this message. This message is listened to by, on an average, 100 to 120 people each presentation. So though I know we're the most important people in the world, those that come together, that's how we feel, right? The thing is that we are impacting a much greater community. And so in that awareness of it, there are those in any group that really love to come together. And then there are those who are very happy to come together once in a while, but too much of a good thing's too much. And then there are others who really are happy to be in their own environment, experiencing this at the pace and the time that they want. And so as we move forward, there are no right or wrong answers in this, but we will come to a decision, have to come to a decision in a year and a half from now as to whether we're going to renew another 5-year lease here or whether we're going to move into another iteration of what it is that we want. And so I open this year of 2026 with the being open to the possibility of what is it that we are growing into, and what is it that our lifestyle and our desires at this point in our life are calling for us to experience spiritually and practically. So thank you very much, and know that this isn't the end. This has just opened up. And so as you have conversations together, and if you've come up with ideas or anything like that, please share them with each other and even send us an email so that we have it. And I would like to have all of your little Post-it notes of the ideas that you have. Please, if you could also give them to us so we can compile it into a document, just so that you can see the range of ideas that came. And Randy has his hand up.
other groups promoting the same, and open other groups to the same thought ideas, I guess. Offer free rent to smaller groups, meeting in living rooms or whatever.
And those that are at home, offering free rent to groups that can't afford it, opening to other groups in this location, inviting other groups to be part of our. You can tell Randy's a teacher.
Looking for similar groups or groups needing a place to meet.
Under groups now meeting, I don't know by that. Looking for similar, looking for similar groups or groups needing a place to meet. Sharing, there's so many groups sharing New Thought message, which is the same, basically the same as ours. It's all one place. Anyway, yeah, I guess that's it.
Just to follow up with that and with what Agnes was saying, for myself, I do travel quite a distance, and for people who, thank you, for people who are online, perhaps it's like having a monthly event, like a day where it's service workshop, like a community meal. And I agree, like having opportunities, like Joan said, to get to know one another better. But it's kind of hard if you just allow yourself like 2 hours on a Sunday or whatever. But, like perhaps making it a monthly event where it's a unity day. Yeah.
So one of the things that we do at York Region for the online people is we come together as a group on Zoom and hold a Zoom meeting. The Zoom, then we listen to, we don't really have a meeting as such before, but we're on Zoom, and the Zoom link is sent out to whoever wants it. And so then we live stream the meditation and the service. And then after that, then we stop live streaming, and then we have fellowship amongst ourselves. And if there were groups of people, these 100 of people, wherever they are, if they wanted to have a Zoom meeting, I mean, perhaps that's something we could do, is offer it. Like Wendy could have a whole group that are coming together on Zoom. Well, no, you're not on Zoom. You're just on yeah. So it would be, maybe that's something, because certainly anybody can come to the York Region Zoom link, and maybe we could advertise that if they want to be part of a Zoom community, to come to, and so we could send them the link if anybody wanted it. So you could put that somewhere. Feel free to do that, because we can have as many, it's not likely. The other thing that I noticed is that although that you were wanting, saying that we're not deciding the future, and we're not creating goals, and what quality is Spirit expressing through us. We are very practical people, I think, because it was not very esoteric answers. They were very practical. And so on that, one of the things that I find, that I know through doing church growth programs, is that the number 2 reason that churches don't grow is the parking, insufficient parking. People come, they can't park, they leave. And so that's one thing and also having greeters outside to show people where to park, how to get to our parking lot. Now in the middle of winter, it's not very helpful, but to have somebody outside with a sign, maybe on the corner, that says Unity parking this way, and somebody, just being there to answer questions outdoors, to greet them, because that's where the church experience starts, is outside. And our outside in the back, not so beautiful with the garbage. And yeah, there's one nice planter, yeah, but it's, there's all the garbage from the restaurants and from other places. And so one of the things that also is maybe we want to set up volunteer groups of like what I'm talking about, the greeters. I would be welcome to be a greeter outside. Working in the kitchen, getting the kitchen cleaned up, because right now it's like catch as catch can as far as and I think that a lot of people just don't realize how much cleanup there has to be done. The outreach, like you guys were talking about, different outreach, prayer chaplains. But there's a whole Unity prayer chaplain program that I've taught many times, but you have to have a place to do it. We don't really have a place here. But maybe building use. When I was a minister in Mississauga, I must have spent at least 50% of my time trying to encourage building use from amongst groups. It was like I didn't feel that was really my job. And yet I was the one that was doing it because nobody else was. And so I'd talk to groups. I'd have, it was really frustrating. But we did have a lot of yoga. A lot of yoga and different things that help to bring people into the building. 12-step groups, that kind of thing. So that's things.
A lot of really good ideas and concepts have been percolating here as a consequence of this visioning process. And there are lots of solutions, I'm sure, that have come up for the questions that have already been posed. Know that what we're doing is the first step. It's a bit like doing anything for the first time. You begin by making the decision to be open to it and open to what might be the possibilities. And that's what we're doing here. And so as we do, and as we each individually can get out of our own way to say, what is it that will really feed and fulfill me as I move forward in my future? And know that you're not alone in that. Because the people that are in your life are in your life because they're similar to you in some way. So Randy has his hand up.
Oh, here, wait. There's 5 people watching now.
We're just running a microphone to Randy.
Thoughts come up as people are talking. Years ago, when I was on the board, we went to San Diego Unity, and and it was a huge congregation at the time. And one of the ideas the minister applied there and encouraged us to is that no one comes into Unity as a guest without walking out knowing at least 5 people. And we had greeters, or not greeters. We had people we had ambassadors looking for people who are new and so on, and shake their hand first time, whatever, and making sure that they met the minister, that they introduced them to Wendy, to whatever, 5 of us sort of thing. We all had a little chat with them, so on. And they felt like this was home. Now, we do a pretty good job of that without structuring it, sort of thing. But I've also seen quiet people come in and kind of sit and so on. And the trouble then and now is we know each other so well. And this has been mentioned numerous times, I've heard, that people come and go. And I'm talking to Bruce and you're talking to whatever. And we think, whoa, we're so social. Yeah, but the new person, nobody talked to them.
So what are you inviting everyone to do?
So I'm saying what we could do is have Bruce's ambassador this week, a volunteer, of course, for a date. And it just means we don't have floods of people coming through the door. But if someone new comes in, someone is an ambassador to say, oh, are you new? I haven't seen you before, sort of thing. But I'm not always here. And, are you new? Oh, well, okay, come on in. I'll show you whatever, Yeah.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Sorry. I agree with you, but I kind of disagree too, because some people, it makes them feel uncomfortable if you jump all over them. Okay. I joined this Unity family 20 years ago. And yes, you had the ambassadors and they were great. They were great, but we were a much bigger concept than in a small community where they might feel more centered out. So I'm just saying, be careful who you approach. Like, you can approach me because obviously I'm an extrovert. But okay, all right, that's enough. I claim it. I claim it. I own it. However, and I can handle it. Okay. But I know there are some others. And it bothered me when Joan said I sit in the same seat. Sit in a different seat. Then you meet people. You know? That's not a big change. Just sit in a different seat. You might like it. So, and I think when people come through that door, I notice them, and I'm always welcome to make a comment. It's not, you don't have to bombard them. Just, hi, I'm so-and-so. Nice to see you. You don't have to say, oh, you new. Somebody did that to my father. He never went back to church. I've never seen you here before. You know, that kind of thing. Very uncomfortable. And like they used to have people stand up if they were new. And they stopped that because it's the center. Yeah. Well, they did it in this church too.
Well, thank you, Diane. The whole idea of visioning is to put aside all of those fears and all of those things that have been done in the past, and to start with a brand new slate. And it might be filled yet again with what was done in the past, and it may not. And it's the notice within you where you have resistance and where you feel open, because you're not alone in that. And so perhaps this being open to possibilities is an invitation for everyone, member or non-member, that comes here or is affected by you, to say, how can I be more open in this situation, whatever situation you're in, and see what comes up. And maybe it's fear that comes up, and then you can speak to that fear and say, gee, is this really real? Is this relevant for me now? Or am I just playing small? So thank you very much for participating. And we're going to do a few more of these as we move along, but we're going to have some big decisions to make. And part of the reason for gathering like this is so that we get to know that it's not just one or two people making a decision to move forward. It's all of us collectively. So I appreciate it. Thank you very much. And did you enjoy doing it this way, having a meal and gathering? And it's not even quite 1:30, so it doesn't take much longer. Thank you. And know that we have over 750 subscribers on our YouTube channel. 745. So we are getting out there. But is that something that we who meet together is enough for us? That's the question. So we'll meet again soon. Thank you, everybody. I appreciate it. If I could ask for volunteers, we're going to put the rows of chairs back and close up the tables and put them away. Thank you very much. And if you would give them all to Marcia. All of your documents, if you would please give them to Marcia.